Overall, more broadly, we know that COVID certainly has brought changes to the way that children are using technology. Has this new norm changed how parents should think about screen time rules, do you think?
Yeah, it has to really, because if they're in lockdown in the states that are in lockdown, they're on the screen for school all day, and then they're hanging out with their friends after school on the screen. So screen time rules from before COVID or even at the beginning of the year need to just be left for the moment. And a better way of thinking about it is screen impact. So the impact of whatever your child is doing on the screen is having on them. So if they're hanging out with their school friends that they never get to see, well, that's probably having a good impact on them. If they're watching video after video in their room alone day after day, that's probably not having a good impact on them. So balance is needed there. But another thing is also that idea around screen fatigue. Spending so many hours on a screen can really physically, emotionally, mentally exhaust children and adults. So it's really important to take regular breaks, go outside, get a breath of fresh air, don't take your phone, just have a break from the screen.
Yeah, some really good advice. And of course, the online wellbeing is more important than ever, as you said. Have you got any tips for parents? What can they do?
Yeah, so well-being, we need to think of it in terms of not just well-being when they're off the screen, but well-being when they're on the screen as well. And we can think of that physically, socially, emotionally. So one thing is around what they're doing on the screen. When they're on there, if they're using it for entertainment or just to, buy the time, make sure that they're doing a variety on there. So most kids tend to stream, social media, or game. So there's lots of other things that they can use their screen for. There's lots of great apps like science experiment apps or creative ones or things that get their brain working. I always think of it like hard fun. So try to add some variety in what they're doing on their screen. And I think well-being is also about being able to use a screen and being focused. So we know digital distraction is very much an issue. Notifications come through, or you're working on your maths lesson, but you'll just check this and just check that. So it's important to kind of use those apps or platforms that allow children to pause their social media and pause their being able to search the internet so that they can actually focus on their maths lesson when they're supposed to. Or if they've got a couple of devices, one is for school, one is for entertainment. When school starts, put the other device somewhere else so they could just concentrate on their schoolwork.
Yeah, just to try and get rid of that distraction. Joanne Orlando, terrific advice. Thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Thanks, Danica.
Well, the former director of America's intelligence agency has revealed the US was suspicious of a Wuhan lab 5 years before the COVID outbreak. Mike Rogers, who was appointed under President Barack Obama, claims the agency was concerned about the city's Institute of Virology from 2014 to 2018. His comments were made in his soon-to-be-published book, What Really Happened in Wuhan. Former Secretary of State and CIA Director Mike Pompeo has supported the remarks, saying the US government was familiar with the laboratories. Brazil has recorded more than 26,000 new COVID cases, taking its total since the start of the pandemic to 20.83 million. 764 deaths were also recorded. 64 million people aged 18 and older have been fully vaccinated against the virus. That equates to 40% of the eligible